Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lords of the Night. With me, as always, is the Lord of Pain, Ranting Monkey.
Hello.
And the Lord of Pennies, Satsu 2 cents.
What up, doe?
And joining us tonight is the Lord of Prosecution, P-Dog Knight.
Hi there.
And I'm your host, Scribe, the Lord of Punishment. Hello, chat. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone has had a good week, all things considered, and you have a good weekend ahead of you. All things considered. I hope you all are safe and well. If you're not well, please get well soon. Yeah. So here we are. My second full week of quarantine as of this afternoon. And I'm still here. Still somewhat sane, I suppose, but the night is young.
We're almost to the end of our second week.
Oh, okay. Well, we're all coming up on it one way or the other, I suppose. Monkey, how are you doing?
Okay. A little bit sore because I went out and was outside with Little Butt today, and she kept wanting to race, and I couldn't exactly do that, but she did have me more mobile than I've been probably in months.
Yeah.
And but I feel good though because I'm the fresh air did me some good, the sunlight did me some good, and the warm weather did me some good. Yeah, so I'm pretty good, thanks.
Satsu, how are you?
I've been playing Resident Evil 3 today, so I am great.
Wow, you need very little, don't you?
Yeah, my life is very, very sad.
All right, and P-Dog Knight, how are you doing?
I am fantastic. I'm thankful to people wishing me happy birthday in the chat. It's technically tomorrow, but in some places in the world, it is already April 4th. So thank you, Mike Savage.
Happy birthday, you.
Yeah, do you want a song now or you want a song tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow's officially my birthday, and I'll be listening tomorrow. So
okay, well, we'll wait till tomorrow. Then.
You know, I got to override you. You're here.
That's true, and I'll to come to think of it, I might be streaming with my son tomorrow night.
Yeah, sorry, you got
a private stream. Okay,
got to pull a monkey card here, and oh, that's not a good thing to say to a black.
That was great. Good job.
Damn.
Good job.
Damn.
Monkey and his accidental racism. P-Dog, my friend. Around here we do this and this one. This one's just for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you.
I ain't singing to you.
Good God.
Happy birthday to you.
They shouldn't either.
They need a tuning fork.
Happy birthday to you, dog.
You ungrateful shit.
Say what?
Happy birthday. Happy birthday, sir. I really do wish you the best.
Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Well, let's see. Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies, video games. Hit that like button if you have not already. And many of you have not. Please do. And more importantly than ever, share our stuff. It is not just us. Just about anybody who's live streams lately. Nobody's getting notifications. Big channels are seeing dramatic drops in their viewership because apparently nobody's being notified they have new videos out. YouTube is dropping the ball, either intentionally or through incompetence, one of the two, or both. So it really is incumbent upon you guys, regardless of what content creator you like. If you like their stuff, if you know something is coming up for other people, tweet it out, share it out, because YouTube isn't. And we do appreciate your support in these strange times.
YouTube did tweet Seth Meyers today.
Oh, well, Seth Meyers, gosh, that opens up the floodgates.
Only because that asshole on his show actually said, that YouTubers are making the pros look dopey because they've been doing this for years. And his sound sounds like junk and his light is garbage. And that's who you're highlighting, YouTube.
Yep.
You know what amazes me about that? These guys have budgets.
Yes.
Like mega budgets. They can't send one microphone home with one of these motherfuckers.
Not a decent one, apparently.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah, budgets and staff and entire networks behind them, and yeah, they can't even get a simple home studio set up. Cray.
Before we move on, can I promote something real quick?
You promote
Thank you.
something on the Lords of the Night?
Tonight on the game stream, you guys, we will be giving away a copy of Resident Evil 3. You can have a chance to win it either on Steam or gift cards for the PS4 to get it yourself over that way.
Oh my God.
Tomorrow night, we'll be giving away just a Steam copy of Resident Evil 3, the brand new game, guys. So if you're interested, make sure you check it out over on 2 Cents Plus right after this.
Oh my God. Resident Evil 3.
If I play that game, is it better to play it with a keyboard and mouse or a controller?
This is actually a pretty good keyboard and mouse game.
Okay.
I play with controller because I'm a controller pleb, but it from what I'm seeing from the people who play it, on PC, it functions very well with a mouse and keyboard.
Okay.
I haven't played it on PC, and I probably won't pick this one up. I played 2, and they did a really good job of mapping it to a keyboard. But yeah, it'll work with either one.
All right. Well, guys, as per pattern, last several days, I'm going to do very brief news coverage because news is basically one topic lately, and we all know what that topic is. And I like to at least try to distract ourselves from that if we can. But there are at least a couple of stories about the common topic that I couldn't avoid today. So first, I'll get the angry one out of the way. And I would like to introduce you to the dumbest, most selfish man in New York City. Would you like to hear about the dumbest, most selfish man in New York City?
Sure.
Absolutely.
New York man exposed to coronavirus hid his symptoms to visit his wife in maternity unit of hospital.
Oh, what a
Oh
dick.
my God! Are
Really?
you fucking serious?
A husband who was exposed to the coronavirus hid that he was feeling ill so that he could visit his wife in the maternity unit of an upstate New York hospital. The man told the truth only after his wife also began showing symptoms. UR Medicine said Monday it will begin taking the temperature of visitors to its hospital's maternity units. Quote, "It was purely an honor system before," spokesman Chip Partner told the Democrat and Chronicle, which is a newspaper, which first reported the incident. Quote, "Now we're adding the temperature check," unquote. The man, who has not been identified, went to Strong Memorial Hospital in Rochester. Every time I say Rochester, I think of Jack Benny. Rochester. And why do I think of Jack Benny? Because my dad used to listen to old-time radio shows. It's not that I'm that old. It's just that I remember. I just want to give these little footnotes to explain the things because I feel inclined to do that. Never mind. I feel weird now. In Rochester, so he could be with his wife when she gave birth. Yes. He was questioned by staff at the hospital and told them he was in good health and had not been exposed to the coronavirus. How would you know if you were? All things considered. I mean, unlike the governor of Georgia, most of us knew for a month and a half now that you can have it and not show it. Let's see. Partner, the spokesperson, told the Democrat and Chronicle that shortly after giving birth, the woman began showing symptoms. Quote, "That's when the significant other admitted his potential exposure and that he was feeling symptomatic," he said. UR Medicine can't say whether the mother, father, or newborn child were infected with the coronavirus because of privacy laws. You just told us that he was, basically. Barbara Ficara, a spokesperson for UR Medicine, told NBC News that a nurse who assisted the family was tested for the virus and the results came back negative. The mother has since returned home. Yeah, there's not much else to say except this guy's a fucking moron because who knows if there were little babies in there with compromised respiratory systems or immune systems, or anybody else that might just grab
the doctors.
The doctors, the nurses, other parents, their kids, his own child, and on and on and on.
From what we know, I mean, the babies are probably going to be okay, even if they did get it, which still, I don't want them to get it.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking doctors and nurse staff, you fucking ass. What about killing your own wife? What the
Well, here's the other thing too. It's like, okay, guy walks to the maternity ward, gives it to 2 or 3 little babies. Little babies are fine, but then grandma and grandpa want to visit their first grandchild. You know, I mean, it's just the most ridiculous fucking thing ever. Whoever this guy is, and they're not going to name him, and he technically didn't commit a crime, I guess. He should feel ashamed for the rest of his life because he has no idea how many people he's put under threat as a result of this, and especially a maternity ward. Anyway, I wanted to get that one out of the way first because that one made me particularly pissed off today.
Well, as we say on the Morning Night Live, FTG, as in fuck that guy.
Yeah. Now for a lighter story on similar subject. An Oklahoma newspaper has apologized for a coronavirus April Fool's story after a backlash.
Ooh.
Thank you, Sanguine.
What?
Real quick. Thank you, Sanguine. So who gets to drown this man in his tub? I vote for anyone else that was in the ward that day that is game. Yeah, no, don't get near that guy. Isolate him forever, drop him off on an island so he lives forever alone. I don't know. What are you going to say, Monkey?
I was going to say that they did what? That headline said a newspaper did a coronavirus April Fool's joke?
Yes, they made fun of Corona. I don't know what the joke was yet, but apparently they did.
Dear fuck.
An Oklahoma newspaper has retracted a coronavirus-related story it published on April Fool's Day that caused panic among parents and teachers. The Sapulpa Times also issued an apology on its website for a story that claims Sapulpa students would have to repeat the entire school year. The Oklahoma State Board of Education ordered all public schools to close beginning March 17th due to the coronavirus, including the schools in Sapulpa, which is southwest of Tulsa. Quote, the story was not endorsed by, approved by, or even known about by any of the Sapulpa Schools administration when it went live on Wednesday morning, but SPS are the ones now having to deal with frantic parents and angry teachers, said Micah Chiquette, the owner and editor of the Sapulpa Times, in the letter. Chiquette said the story was an innocent joke and an attempt to find humor in, quote, a time where it's sorely needed, unquote. The newspaper retracted the story almost immediately after it was published. What was the story? I would like to know what the story was. They don't even have it here. I guess because if they pulled it, you can't even read it now. Yeah. Okay. So the joke was
not a funny joke.
Sorry, what?
So that's not a funny joke.
It's a pretty lame joke. Yeah.
To add to the stress that everybody already has, come on.
Most people aren't in the mood for jokes like that from a newspaper. Now, if you're sending memes on the internet, nobody cares. But to publish that in your town, I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, you should have thought twice about that one.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with the joke itself. You know, even now with things being the way it are, but from a newspaper, that's pretty fucked up.
It was poorly considered. Yes.
If anything, they should have put the punchline in the article at the end or something.
Yeah,
big enough so that, of course, nobody reads articles anyway. But whatever.
Yeah, if they put at the end, like, by the way, it's April 1st, etc. But anyway, so those are the only 2 stories out of every other little mini disaster I saw today that I thought was at least worth mentioning.
Oh, old man made a good point. He said most people wouldn't read the article anyway.
Wait, what?
They wouldn't. Most people would. They just read the headline and lose their shit. They wouldn't read.
Yeah.
No. Did you say old man?
Is that what it is? Old
man? That's
Yeah.
his name in the chat.
Oh! I thought he was talking about me because I just said that.
Oh, did you? I didn't hear you. I didn't even.
No, I didn't hear you either.
Oh,
Boomer got mad.
Wow, someone's sensitive today.
Calm the fuck down, old man.
I'm going to throw down a Fredo, please.
Well, in lieu of more bad news, I thought I would go to the yucky well for some potentially entertaining conversation. And that well is how to do it at slate.com.
To do what? It?
Well, I thought I would head off Frosted Glass at the path and just dive into some advice column stuff.
This was the same place we got the booty eating story, Monkey.
Prolific Rim, yes.
Yes.
So here we go. I'll start off with this one. How to do it. I went to hook up with a guy and then realized he was live streaming us to 74 people. Not quite sure what kind of advice you're going to go after this. It sounds like just an anecdotal story. Like, do I call the police or something? Dear How to Do It. Oh, it's appropriate that I randomly picked this one to start off with. Dear How to Do It. I am part of a global kink community that facilitates members' meetups for a specific BDSM activity, typically between men. I had been in conversation with someone for over a month regarding a meeting during a planned weekend trip, and we discussed the specifics in detail. When we recently met up for the encounter, there was another man there, in his underwear and blindfolded. He was a friend of the host. There was also a meth pipe, and the odor of its use. Was Andrew Gillum there by any chance? As a rule, I do not have sex while not sober or with persons who are not sober. No judgment towards those who negotiate to do so, but we had not discussed it. Meth is technically okay for you then? Bizarre. I told him that I neither consented to an audience nor chemsex. Hadn't heard that term before. After he denied the drug use with the loaded meth pipe in the room, I checked in on the sobriety of the blindfolded man, and he admitted that they were high. I then noticed a camera set up across the room and saw what was on his TV. Me! I thought they were watching a porn, but he was live streaming this encounter to 74 viewers. He quickly shut off the live stream and apologized, then I left. Later that night, I went into our meetup pages chat room and saw him online posting, saying he was looking to host people for the specific engagement we had previously negotiated. What I am wondering is whether and how I should disclose what happened to a site admin. You really need to ask that question? This community doesn't tolerate this kind of behavior given the physical, aggressive, and risky nature of this kink. Then tell the admin. Why do you need to ask an advice column? Hello? Have I just stunned you guys into silence, or am I disconnecting from the internet? I can't tell.
No, we're here. I'm here.
Okay.
I'm speechless. Yeah. Why don't you talk to the people who arranged this shit? And you know what? If you catch him, punch him in the mouth and leave. that'd be well. First of all, I wouldn't be doing that. But anyway, that would be my solution. And then call the people who, if this is a club or a, what do they call it? It's an arranged club or something like that.
It's like some kind of like dating sort of thing.
Yeah, you report him to the club and get his ass kicked out. If that wasn't consented, if you didn't consent to that and didn't make that part of the deal, then.
Faithless says it sounded rhetorical. No, that is the question they are asking the advice columnist. Should they? Should they actually tell other people because of the privacy issue, etc.? And yeah, that is bizarre. Did we lose Monkey and Satsu?
Oh, but I'm here. I'm just typing a lot. I apologize.
Okay.
I'm trying not to have tick all the way in the background here.
All right. I feel like I was floating off in space for the most part. I was like, am I still on the internet?
No, and Satsu's eating. Although,
right, okay.
I had to I was trying to wipe my hands so I can respond. They asked specifically how they should report it, and I think when they said how, not how to report something, but how should they present it to them? I guess.
Let's see who's next. That was a bizarre one to start off with. Thank you, Officer Buck. And then he says, I turned myself into a pickle. Funniest shit I've ever seen. Okay. All right. Here's another one. Sometimes the headlines are all you really need to read. Dear How to Do It. Do I need to stop sleeping with random guys because of coronavirus?
Jesus.
Dear How to Do It. For lack of a better way of putting it, do I need to stop hoeing around because of the coronavirus? I recently got out of a relatively short but very intense and stressful relationship. It got serious very quickly and ended just as quickly, like that night. And dating and having sex again without all the fuss has been a godsend. But as I'm about to go out with my third guy of the week,
Jesus.
with the full intention of making out with him and probably more, I'm wondering if I'm part of the problem in terms of spreading the virus and burdening our healthcare system's capacity. It's better than going to a party, I'd say, but it's a great great stress management. What do you think?
Well, bitch, do you have the coronavirus and you're doing this? One, and two, there might be some other issues you should be worried about.
Yeah, coronavirus is the least virus I'd be concerned with given your pattern of behavior. But
yeah, you're part of a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. So I really wonder how many of these stories are just pose or them writing their own stories to themselves and answering their own questions.
I believe that that's a true thing. I mean, I think we have people out there that are selfish enough, like, well, it's just some sex with somebody. No, you shouldn't be doing that anyway. You're gonna spread all kinds of things. You're patient zero, you nasty bitch.
Blech. Okay. I don't even know the context of this one. Dear How to Do It. My 17-year-old daughter is having sex. Do I tell her dad? I don't want him to make her feel dirty.
Oh, I had a terrible joke, but I'm not going to say it.
Our oldest child is 17, and she's been on the pill for 2 years by her choice. I've always been clear with her that I prefer she not have sex until she's older, but I understand that sex sometimes really does just happen.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
It's just, whoops.
You're never standing in a bus stop and suddenly sex happens.
Well, I mean, I could have made a bad joke there, but I'll stop. Recently, she let me know that she has attempted to have sex twice. Attempted? The first time she said hurt really badly and she made the guy stop. The second time she said the second time she said he couldn't keep it up to actually complete the act. She admitted that she is thinking about attempting to have sex with a different partner. I'm glad she told me. I have offered her advice and asked if she has condoms available or needs money to purchase them. She told me she's okay with all of that, but she'd rather not tell her dad until afterward. I reminded her that she doesn't have to tell either one of us if she chooses not to. She says it's not that she wants to brag about having sex, but she wants us to know what she is doing and where she is at in her life. How do I bring this up with my much more conservative husband? I'd like to prepare him so he doesn't just shut down or make her feel bad or dirty. I want her to always feel like she can tell us anything and know that we will still love her. All right, gentlemen, all of you who now are parents where I'm not, what would you say to that one?
It depends on him. Look, I'm very conservative. You guys know how I am with my daughter, but when she became active, my wife did come and tell me, and I did scare the shit out of the little boy. But I'd rather have them tell me and help them do it. I don't want to say help them do it safely because that sounds wrong, but help them take precautions. But still, like, you really shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're in a really good position. They raised a good kid, and I think this is like the best case scenario in a lot of these situations. Because, truth be told, like, you know, that once they get around that age, it could happen. You know, it's a thing. It's a reality. So the fact that she even thinks that she can come and talk to you about it is already a good sign. Just tell him like, hey, look, this is what's happening. I already talked to her. We discussed this and this and this, and I gave her, you know, she's using protection and blah. I mean, fuck he gonna do? Kill her? He gonna be mad, but he'll get over it.
That's exactly how it happened in my house.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my daughter had the confidence that she could talk to her parents. And she hadn't even started having sex yet, but she was talking about it. And, you know, my rule being 6'4", 280 pounds, built like an NFL lineman, don't have sex with anybody who hasn't met me first.
All right.
Please clap.
Thank you, Officer Buck. I'm sorry, honey. I didn't mean to cheat on you, but you know how sex goes. ... Oh, boy. Yeah, it just kind of happens from time to time.
I hate that shit. It just happens. No, it really doesn't.
I slipped on a banana
Somebody
peel.
put a dick in a pussy. That's how it happened.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to top off the end of the half hour with this one because, oddly enough, it relates back to a TEDx talk I recently did. So this might actually be a thoughtful conversation. I reported my rapist to his bosses. Now they want me to meet with him. Should I participate in restorative justice? Now, for those of you that have been watching my TED Excellence streams, I did one on restorative justice a few days ago. And the thought that continually occurred to me as the speaker was describing the whole process and everything is that if quote unquote restorative justice is to take place, it has to be initiated by the victim. You can't force the victim of a crime to go talk to their, persecutor or whatever, the person who hurt them or their family or whatever else. I mean, it's going to happen. It's got to be something that they want to do of their own volition. So I'm curious to see where this story goes. Thank you, Mike Downey. My 9-year-old thinks girls are pretty. I'm fucking terrified.
They are pretty, but keep your junk wrapped.
All right. Dear How to Do It. I'm looking for some guidance on what to do about a man who repeatedly assaulted and once very brutally raped me. I met him online about 6 years ago and thought he was wonderful. He said all the right things about community involvement, activism, kink, consent, and I was at a moment where I was ready to explore the kinky desires I'd been having for years. We were long distance for a while as I got to know more about him. I had been thinking of moving to his faraway state for school, so eventually I moved in with him in a house with a couple of roommates. Reality was far different. When I moved in, I saw how he lived in filth, and his roommates hit me up for money for his back rent almost as soon as I arrived. We began to explore kink, but I found out that he shared a graphic video of me despite my telling him numerous times that he was not to share videos of me without my explicit consent. This was the last straw for me, and I broke it off with him. Real quick, Cody Fry, thank you. Who's the new black guy? Be careful, P-Dog. I think they're planning to replace you with the Satsu weirdo.
Or something like that.
Or something like that. That's kind of a reverse. Okay, thank you, Cody. I didn't have any money to move anywhere else, nor did I really know anyone in this new inexpensive city, so I was trapped. He kept coming into my room and sexually assaulting me for about 2.5 months until I found another apartment. After I did, he ended up coming over and brutally raping me, nearly strangling me to death in the process. Jesus. I didn't go to the police because of a terrible prior experience with reporting a rape to the police, and I was also afraid that he'd be able to tell them it was just kinky sex like we'd had before. I've had a lot of trauma in my life, even besides this whole experience, but I'm trying to move on. I'm back in school, I work, and I've been in therapy for a few years now. However, I would look for this guy online occasionally to check on what he's doing. Okay. Some months ago, I saw that he's volunteering with a nonprofit in which he may have access to vulnerable people that he could manipulate and hurt. I wrote to the director, and they got back to me saying they were going to engage in a restorative justice process with him and asking if I'd like to be part of it. wait, if you can't have okay. And granted, I'm a novice at all this, but my understanding is restorative justice requires the offender and the victim. How can you have it and make this person an optional participant? Unless you're misinterpreting what restorative justice is and just trying to get away without actually having to deal with any legal or police liabilities. And now my phone beeps at me. 1 second, guys. Sorry. It's work. Of course it's work. What's work got to say? Work has to say things are fine. I'd also written to the prosecutor to at least file a police report on this guy so it can help build a case if someone else reports him. And I've thought about writing to my contacts in the community there or even posting on social media. I am concerned about this restorative process because this guy is a very smooth talker who appears to know all about healthy sex and consent, and I think that he very well could just fake his way through, be reinstated, and continue to harm other people. So I guess I'm looking for is maybe what you're looking for. That's caught my brain. So I guess I'm looking for is your advice specifically on how to handle this sort of thing. Should I participate in the restorative process? Work with the prosecutor, tell his friends, expose him online, or just trust that everything will work out and move on? Your first mistake was not going to the police after the first rape.
Yeah, my advice would have been 3 words: 911.
Yeah. As far as the restorative process, now I don't know what this nonprofit he's working for is, but it sounds like they're looking to cover their asses by saying we addressed this and moved on, so that they can at least not say they can hold themselves harmless from any liability later on.
Well, yeah, that's what I was. I'm like, what? Why are they even doing this? Like that was my question. Like, what the fuck?
So they can have it on file that they knew about it, they acknowledged it, they put the victim through this process, and she was cool with it, and so they're not liable if any police or legal action gets involved after the fact. At least that's my guess as to the logic of their thinking. Thank you, Sanguine. Wait, she told his employers they didn't know by him being on a register, so I can only assume that she never reported to the cops. Yeah, she said she never went to the police. If a crime was committed, report that crap to cops, not to bosses. Yeah, like with so many other stories we've seen in the past, it's not an easy thing to report this, especially with the odds, and it's not always good odds that anything will actually end up happening. But if you don't report it at all, certainly nothing will happen.
Yep.
Yeah, so she made that was her first big mistake. Calling his bosses without a prior police report or him having a record, it's hearsay as far as the bosses are concerned. So in that sense, them doing the restorative justice offer, it's cheesy, kind of scammy, but on their end, they don't have to do anything if you don't have any proof. So that's actually probably more than they maybe should have, because that effectively makes the guy have to admit, if he participates, that he did something like that, which is almost akin to a confession. Very messy situation, not helped by the victim here. But setting all that aside, should she participate in the process, if for no other reason than to try to get him to admit to having done something, is my question.
Right. Bring a tape recorder.
Didn't this start off with somebody recording somebody when they didn't want to have sex?
No, that was the other story.
Different story.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize we switched stories.
Yeah, no, I've gone through.
What's going on?
I went through that filming story, then I went through the 17-year-old daughter thing, and now we're here. So it's been a couple stories.
No, I thought this one started with somebody recording him, even though they said they didn't want him recorded.
Nope,
that was the first story.
This is the third story. That was the first story.
I swear,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back.
This story started off with a list of perfect red flags that should have tipped her off when she was naming all the things about him that were good.
Yeah,
that's what this story started off with. And I was just like, bitch, those are all red flags. Okay.
Either way, ladies, I know it can be hard to be believed. Thank you, all you liars out there, for that. But always go to the police. I mean, going to a boss that's not we live in a society where that should actually mean nothing. Innocent until proven guilty. So if you go to my boss instead of the police, that just looks like you being a vindictive cunt.
Okay, like I said, let's just set that aside for a second. And should she participate in the restorative justice process, everything else being speculated?
But what? How? Where's the? There's been no proven crime.
Well, like I said, they, according to her, they offered this option to her. So, real quick, thank you, Frank Hubbard. She did admit he recorded her early on too. Well, they had like an explicit tape. That's right. I mean, he shared.
They were practicing kink, and he shared.
I was listening, you motherfuckers.
No, but she consented to the video. He just shared it without her permission.
Oh,
Right.
he shared without permission. That's
Yeah.
that's where I got a little.
Okay.
But there was taping there.
All right.
Who said that?
Thank you, Officer Buck. No, she did say he recorded her at one point. Yeah, but that was a consensual thing. I thought Monkey was referring back to the first story where like they're already being broadcast and they hadn't been told they were going to be broadcast.
Right.
Okay. Anyway, so again, everything else stipulated. Should she participate in the process?
I don't see how you. Sure, why not?
I feel like if she wants something to happen, like if she wants a result, any kind of result, she kind of has to now, because going to the police is going to be significantly less effective now that she's waited and told them instead. So it's like if you want anything to come out of this, then you kind of have to. Otherwise, just say fuck it and just go away.
Yeah, I mean, if I were her, I mean, it'd probably be the most difficult thing ever. But at this point, in the absence of any direct evidence, if you go there and get him to admit something, him saying that in a restorative justice session doesn't absolve him of any actual crime. So if he ends up giving away any information that can be testified to later by his bosses, that might be your only shot at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And that's unfortunate because you didn't have to go this route if you'd said something to begin with. But looking past that, yeah, like Satsu said, this might be your only shot at getting him to let something slip that's going to be damning as far as anything else that might come down the line.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Anyway, anything, P-Dog, before we move on?
I just want to know if she gave the roommates any money.
I have a feeling that she didn't. But,
that's when you leave right then. It's like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I mean, she talked about having been in like horrible situations prior to all this and everything else, and it's just like, and none of those prior experiences gave you any hesitation or any reason to try to check up on somebody before you move in with them into a state you're not familiar with, and so on. And very odd. But anyway, guys, we're going to move on to the wonderful world of MSS News. So if you have news stories you would like us to read on the air, please send them to us via Twitter using the hashtag MSS News. Can't promise we'll get to them all. That's just because I'm long-winded and we have a guest. So, maybe the case we get to talking about stuff. And, of course, Frosted Glass is first up with a Medium post, which is again from, oh wait, no, it's not from, I thought it was from Zora for a second, but it's not. Here we go. How I learned to connect my story with the story of white supremacy. Let's think about that for a second. How I learned to make myself a victim of a vast conspiracy, right? Quote, if only there was a world that was less offensive than racist, said a friend the week after Trump's 2016 election victory. No matter what the conversation, no matter what the conservation topic was that week, conservation? It inevitably turned into a how did this happen Trump election debate. I'm reading it as it's written. Conservation topic. Not conversation, conservation. We were talking about the two white reactionary waves that occurred on social media immediately after the election. The first wave was instant, calling out the racism and white supremacy needed for 60 million white people to vote for an explicitly racist candidate with specific campaign promises to hurt millions of people of color.
Wait a minute. We can't just walk over that one, Scribe.
Well, the writer wants to. Thank you, Mike Downey, corner correspondent, Frosted Glass. Oh yes, corner correspondent. I forgot we did give Frosted Glass a kind of a title, didn't we?
Yep.
All right, I'll read that again just for repetition's sake. The first wave was instant, calling out the racism and white supremacy needed for 60 million white people to vote for an explicitly racist candidate with specific campaign promises to hurt millions of people of color.
Nobody else was involved in that, huh? It was just 60 million whites, and that was it.
Who are all racist.
Okay.
The second wave, a slightly slower but much more reliable wave in this country, was a rush to the defense of white comfort and segregated ignorance as millions of white people from all political aisles, ISLES.
Only exclusive white people. Exclusively whites.
Rush to defend Trump supporters being accurately called out for the racism they had just unleashed. Quote, this was more about the economy. Not everything is about race, was one comment being tossed around the second wave. Quote, are you trying to tell me 60 million voters are racist? Was another. Quote, there's so much hate happening right now. Another a popular statement surfing the second wave, referring not to the hate behind Trump's horrific policies like banning and demonizing. Tell me about demonizing again, real quick. But the hate, quote unquote, apparently needed to call out the racism behind a Trump voter. This is an old straw man argument that mislabels people's emotional reactions to hate as the real problem, causing people to go on the defense instead of continuing to call out the real hate occurring.
Okay. A person who literally just said that white people were exclusively the reason that Trump got elected don't really get to talk about straw man.
Or demonizing. Or where is this going? It's going on for 7 or 10 pages.
So wait, if no person of color in the entirety of this this whole country, if not a single one votes for you, you can win like that? Is that?
Setting us. Okay, if you could get every white person in the country to vote for you, yes. Statistically speaking, sure. Except that we have two parties that are grossly divided between each other, and not all white people are Republicans.
That's what I was saying.
But yeah, I mean, how many people voted for Hillary Clinton again?
Lots of white people.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I don't know where that's going any further, and I don't want to read anymore. So there we go.
Well, anything they said after claiming that white people were exclusively the reason Trump got elected was just automatically negated, because it's just like you don't even know what you're talking about. So how can you make a valid point right
now? This one comes from Jim Heelis. And if I'm reading this correctly, the Venezuelan Navy is made out of cardboard. Venezuela Navy vessel sinks after ramming a cruise ship.
Wow.
Oh.
A Venezuelan Navy coastal patrol boat, okay, so it's not a very big ship then, sank in the Caribbean after allegedly ramming a cruise ship that it had ordered to change direction. The owners of the Portuguese-flagged RCGS Resolute said the naval vessel Naguada also fired shots in an act of aggression in international waters. The collision left the cruise ship, which has a reinforced hull for sailing in icy waters, with only minor damage. Venezuela accused the Resolute of an act of, quote, aggression and piracy, unquote. You rammed it. you shot at it. It also said it did not rule out that the cruise ship was, quote, transporting mercenaries to attack military bases in Venezuela.
Is this the,
In a cruise ship?
it's a cruise ship.
What? All right, so is this like, is this Bay of Pigs Part 2 or something? President Nicolas Maduro has previously accused the United States and other countries of plotting to overthrow him. Yeah, we loaded up this ratty-looking cruise ship with a bunch of mercenaries to take over Venezuela.
Well, yeah, let's take over Venezuela with a bunch of senior citizens in bathing suits. The other problem, so this little cruiser that sunk, that rammed the cruise ship, did they buy that in China?
Oh,
Well, it's Venezuela, man. They have no fucking money.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
it might have been made in Taiwan then. We have a birthday. Quinn the Cultist.
Oh, Quinn, 'tis your birthday.
That's who it was. That there's two people who are watching today that are, I don't know if they're watching, that share birthdays with me. Except today's the 3rd. Never mind. Okay, never mind.
Yes, not your birthday. It's Quinn's birthday, and around here we do this. This one's for you, and a 1, and a 2.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Am I fucking playing Resident Evil again?
Happy birthday, dear Quinn the Cultist.
There's fucking zombies in here, man.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Quinn. I hope you had a
Happy
great
birthday, Quinn.
Please tell me the story is not true. Please, please. This one comes from Shrouded Angel. Oh boy. Mum, this is from the Mirror, so gotta say mum. Mum names twins born in lockdown Corona and COVID as a reminder of the pandemic.
Oh, God. Why do you hate your children?
A mum has named her twins born during lockdown Corona and COVID as a reminder of the pandemic. Preeti Verma said the names of her little boy and girl who came into the world last Friday would remind her of exactly what was happening on the week of their birth. Why just name them like Sunny Day or something, or something that's nice instead of something that's a disease? Her baby boy is COVID and his sister is called Corona. And she said they would not forget the hardships endured during this time.
They won't know. They're fucking babies.
The 27-year-old from Chhattisgarh, central India, said that the pandemic has also brought with it some happy memories. She did admit, however, that she might change the names of her twins when they get older. Then why bother doing it now? Preeti, who also has a 2-year-old daughter, said, quote, the delivery happened after facing several difficulties, and therefore me and my husband wanted to make the day memorable by scarring our children for life. No, that was I added that.
Is your other daughter named Herpes?
Thank you, Sanguine. Well, given that their Navy versus cruise ships now has a record of 0-1, the Centurions might have a good chance of winning a potential war. Yeah, they just have to shuffleboard their way to victory.
I knew though that the mother had to be either Indian or a sister, because
well, now that's racist.
Well, it's okay. I'm allowed.
No,
I can't wait. No, it's not racist. You know why?
Why?
Because I'm black. I can't be racist.
I've been told that many times.
Hey, I get a pass.
Thank you,
Officer Buck.
Sorry. Because the excruciating pain of birth isn't enough of a reminder for this woman, apparently. Yeah, she should have named her kids Vaginal and Terror.
Didn't she say she did it so that those kids would never forget?
Yeah, which is like, what do they? They're not going to remember anything about this because
they're not going to remember anything for about 4 years. You dumbass.
Ooh, there's a chat. Mort in the chat. The saucy peasant-wearing outfit person that put out some photos a little while ago. Mm-hmm. And now Monkey's going to go look that up.
No, I'm confused.
Okay. Well, if you go over to Chatmort's Twitter, you'll see. Who's next? And okay, that jumped. Interesting. This one comes from Top Ramen Lewis. Top Ramen Lewis. Astronomers define the really habitable zone, which is planets capable of producing gin and tonic. This is an April 1st story, is it? No, it's not. Okay. A hospitable star that doesn't kill you with deadly flares. A rocky planet with liquid water and an agreeable climate. Absence of apocalyptic asteroid storms. No pantheon of angry, vengeful, and capricious gods. These are the things that define a habitable planet. Now, some scientists are adding one more criterion to the list. Gin and tonic. Exoplanets are a hot topic in space science right now. We know of about 4,000 confirmed exoplanets, with many more on the way. We've come a long way from a few decades ago when, as far as we knew, our solar system was the only one with a habitable world. What else were we to think? That the odds were slim that we were the only ones. That's what I thought. And I was only a kid. The Kepler mission changed all that. Our knowledge of exoplanets grew in leaps and bounds, and along with the discovery of all those distant planets, we began to refine our criteria for what a habitable world might look like. Okay, when do we get to the booze part? Okay, where is this? Okay, and this goes on and on. When do we get to? Okay, what to make a gin and tonic? According to the authors of the paper, we need several things. Quote, to proceed, we define the minimum acceptable gin and tonic. Okay, that is a term there. Minimum acceptable gin and tonic, or magic, must contain gin, tonic, ice, and some sort of citrus. Gin aficionados know that it's flavored with botanicals, which is nowhere defined clearly. Anyway, you have to be able to tell that those things can exist on a planet to know that you've got a habitable planet. I guess you need water. Yeah, you need water. You need plant life, and whatever the other ingredients are.
Again, see, this bothers me about science, because we get this notion that only our way works. And for instance, for a long time they thought nothing could live on the bottom of the ocean because it's too dark down there. Then we get down there and we find not only plant life but fish. Mm-hmm. We thought, well, look, for life to exist elsewhere, it has to have these things. You don't know that, motherfucker. Don't you watch Star Trek? There's some weird aliens out there. Just saying.
There's got to be a couple elements that we don't know about in this vast universe.
Well, let's keep on the science part of it, because we have one from the Green Pangolin, whoever that is. Come on, you can do it. Fossil suggests that Homo erectus is 200,000 years older than previously thought. Paleontologists have unearthed the oldest fossil belonging to the hominin species Homo erectus. The 2-million-year-old fossil skull, excavated over a 5-year period in South Africa, suggests the early human relative emerged between 100,000 and 200,000 years earlier than previously thought. Scientists described the discovery in a new paper published this week in the journal Science. Quote, the Homo erectus skull we found, likely aged between 2 and 3 years old when it died, shows its brain was only slightly smaller than other examples of adult Homo erectus. Using high-resolution dating methods, scientists confirmed the fossil cranium is at least 2 million years old, which means Homo erectus shared the African continent with at least 2 other hominin species, Paranthropus robustus and Australopithecus sediba. Quote, unlike the situation today where we are the only human species, 2 million years ago, our direct ancestor was not alone, unquote. Because the skull predates fossils from other Homo erectus, both inside and outside of Africa, scientists suggest the discovery proves Homo erectus emerged and evolved in Africa, not Asia, as has been previously been suggested. Quote, our discovery suggests, though, that Homo erectus likely did not evolve in Eastern Africa as so often thought, but perhaps somewhere else in Africa or potentially in South Africa itself. More evidence is needed before firm conclusions can be reached, of course. That's interesting, I suppose.
Yeah.
Oh. Yay, science.
I just am fascinated how many times they kept using the word erectus.
It's a technical term.
Just saying.
It's a technical term, you third grader. I think you talked about this one on your show, P-Dog, so I might be... because I remember when I came into the show, you were talking... Maybe this is it. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. This one comes from Skookum. Norfolk police answer call about naked man rolling around on front lawn. Were you talking about this one earlier?
No, but there were two Florida man stories that were very similar.
Florida man, okay. Norfolk OPP have arrested a man they say stripped naked Wednesday afternoon and rolled around on someone's lawn. Police say around 5:07 p.m., officers were called to a home on Charlottesville Road near Simcoe. I think this is Canada. Thank you, Sanguine. Well, we know about all elements up to and including oganesson, and we know that heavier are possible, just their fusion point is insane and rare, P-Dog.
Didn't you say this was Virginia?
It said Norfolk, but it's a CBC article, so it's Canada. I don't know if it's...
It's Norfolk, Virginia. I've been on Charles Boulevard. Charlottesville.
But no, wait. It's Norfolk OPP. Isn't that Ontario Provincial Police?
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
They have a Norfolk in Canada?
Sure.
In Ontario.
They have an Ontario in the U.S. too.
I got a more important question.
Uh-huh.
You down with OPP?
Yeah, you know me.
Okay, just checking.
How many of you in chat got that one? Probably too many.
Boomers.
Police say around 5:07 p.m., officers were called to a home in Charlottesville Road 7 near Simcoe. A resident had called after seeing, quote, an unclothed person rolling around on the front lawn. When officers arrived, the man ran away, but they caught up and he was arrested without incident. Police said in a media release titled Suspicious Incident, Locate Naked Individual, unquote. Okay. Police say the man broke into a home around 4:14 a.m. and woke up the homeowners who confronted him, and the man ran away. As investigators were searching for him, another person called police saying the man was at a Highway 24 home. Police went there and arrested them. Wait, what? Oh, sorry, I skipped a line that was very important. Constable Ed Sanchuk said it appears to be unrelated to a Tuesday incident where a naked man broke into a home on Concession 13 in Townsend. Okay, so you got two different naked guys doing crazy shit in the same area. Okay.
The breaking and entering one, I mean, we've heard about naked. Why would you roll around naked on somebody else's lawn?
Maybe he was high?
I guess.
They don't say, I mean, they say he was being charged with being intoxicated, but they don't say what kind of intoxication. So
we've had a lot of naked stories lately. Yeah. There was that naked guy down in Florida throwing rocks at cars, and there was another naked one recently that I'm forgetting. People, keep your damn clothes on. There's a virus going around. What's wrong with you?
Maybe that's where they're going crazy. They're all like cabin fever.
You might as well be like that whore from the other story.
Oh.
I'm sorry, slut. My bad.
Oh. Okay. Top Ramen Lewis has just inundated the thread with story after story after story after story. I want to get
that's who Raymond is. Top Ramen.
Yeah. Raymond Lewis. Top Ramen Lewis. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. There's a lot of them.
Okay. Okay. I'll read this one because it's a nice story. It is from yesterday, but we didn't read it then, so. And then we'll move on to the wonderful world of YouTube time. This one comes from Signal Boost. And it comes from the Good News Network. An anonymous Maryland mother is being hailed for leaving out hundreds of bagged lunches for her community during the novel coronavirus shutdowns. Unidentified do-gooder has been leaving the healthy meals on a tent-sheltered table at a busy intersection in Severna Park. Hanging from the table is a sign that reads, quote, "For anyone who needs it, I'll be leaving some healthy sack lunches on this table for you if you are hungry and need to eat, made with love by a neighborhood mom in a clean and sanitized kitchen," unquote. The table has reportedly been stocked with free lunches between 11 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. every day for a number of weeks. For Kimberly Gusso, a mother of two who has been scrimping and saving to make ends meet as she works from home, the lunches have been a much appreciated gesture of kindness for her kids during the quarantine. Quote, "This makes me embrace my community even more. I'm proud to live here," Gusso said. "It's great to show our kids that there is good in our world. It's not just about ourselves. It needs to be about others too," unquote. The table even caught the eye of State Delegate Nick Kipke, who praised the labor of love on his Facebook page, saying, quote, "Things like this really lift my spirits. It's great to see so many in our community doing so much to care for others during this stressful time," unquote. It's a nice story.
It is, but that seems unsanitary.
Okay, Rain Cloud.
How long is that table? I guarantee those lunches aren't 6 feet apart.
All right, guys. Well, there's the story today. Try to end on a happy note, but Monkey had to shoot in his ass. So there you go.
Well, how about to do it when there's not a fucking virus out there? Why wasn't she doing it for just hungry people before? Look, I get it. It's a nice story and all, but she's gonna start a whole nother pandemic right there. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, in Monkey's defense, she can just lay the lunches on the corpses after the thing is over with.
Yeah. Wet blanket. Hey, I ain't the one going to get Corona lunch. It would be great if there was like a little Corona beer in each one.
Oh, did you know Corona beer is shutting down production?
Are they?
Yeah.
No.
But anyway, guys, thank you so much for all the stories, even if Monkey has to piss in somebody's Cheerios. You know,
I'm trying to keep people safe.
Yeah, you are.
You're also trying to keep homeless people hungry, but you know.
Look, man.
Yeah, you know, whatever. Starving people get starved. Anyway, guys, we're gonna.
Why
move
doesn't
on
she
to
take her ass, find homeless people, stand 6 feet away from them, and throw a bag at them? Then everybody's still safe.
Anyway, guys, on to YouTube time. I'll go first because I have very little to share. I went on to P-Dog's stream earlier today and said hello and for a bit before I had to go back to work. Tomorrow, I'll be doing a TEDx talk about privilege because, you know, it's a day that ends in Y. And then on Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, I'll be on Irate Prostate's channel to be interviewed, which I think it's my first, as far as I know, first formal interview I've ever done. I've been asked questions on other streams before, but I don't think it was formal. So there you go. That's what I've got. Satsu, what have you been up to?
Well, I finally uploaded that ramen egg video that I said I was going to upload forever ago. So that's up finally. I recorded a video today and I played some Resident Evil 3 on my channel for like 4 hours. I think I streamed it for. It was like 3.5 hours or whatever. That game is fucking awesome, dude. It is awesome. It is creepy. It is scary. It's exactly what I wanted it to be. And I've been having some fun. So after this, we're going to be playing 7 Days to Die. But tomorrow, during the day sometime, I can't really give you an exact time, but sometime during the day, probably about around 3 or 4 o'clock, again, I will be playing Resident Evil 3, and we might actually finish it up tomorrow. We'll see, because the game is not that long. It has replayability, so you can unlock stuff or whatever, but the game itself is not very long. So come and check all that stuff out if you give a shit.
All right. When are you going to post that Chicken Divan video?
Oh, it's like the video after the next one.
Okay.
Yeah, it's edited and it's done. I just need to get it up there.
I await with bated breath. Monkey, what have you been up to?
I was peeing in your cornflakes just a moment ago.
I said Cheerios.
I said cornflakes.
Less filling.
My voice is coming out, right? Anyway, yeah, shitbird, indeed.
Shit, bird.
That was so stupid.
That shit was stupid as hell.
Let's see. Did a game stream last night. Had my horde night, which actually went really well. I have to adjust my base some. Y'all who were there, you know what happened. Still survived. Still worked for the most part. It was awesome. And then did Monkey in the Morning, and now I'm here. Don't forget, come out to 2 cents plus after this. Chance to win Resident Evil 3, guys.
Ooh. And P-Dog, I kind of spoiled it already, but what have you been up to today?
Oh, that's all right. So for those of you who don't know, I do a Monday through Friday stream called the Morning Night Live. And this morning we had our 300th episode of the Morning Night Live. It was it was a combination show. It was the birthday show because my birthday is tomorrow. It was the 300th episode special, and it was the 600 subscriber special. Now, on that note, there's 237 people here watching right now. And a whole bunch of you already are subscribed to my channel, but if you're not, please go to the link in the description down below and subscribe to the channel, even if you're not going to watch, because I'm trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers by July because my wife and I are going to take a trip. Lady Boomer and I like to stream on the road, but YouTube took that away from us. So until I have 1,000 subscribers, I can't do that. And our traveling streams are a scream because let's just say that Lady Boomer is very entertaining, probably more so than I, but she refuses to go on camera, but she's very funny off to the side. So anyway, that's my YouTube day. And I'm actually going to do another birthday stream tomorrow in the morning, probably before Scribe comes on. So look forward to that, but subscribe right now. Right. It's as simple. 2 clicks, right click, open a window, subscribe, and then run right the hell back out. Don't forget to click the bell.
What is that? Hang on a second, guys.
Okay. All right. Well, on to the wonderful world of internet and or just Twitter fucketry. I'll do what I've got because I don't have too much. The New York Times put this out today. China is pushing for quick, quiet burials and suppressing talk of fatalities as questions rise over the country's death toll from the coronavirus. And I said, also, water was still wet last Sunday because when you need belated and well-known revelations, you need the New York Times. You got to be kidding me. You're only now catching up to this. It's since there was a government report about it, now you guys can break the seal of possibly sidewise, maybe insulting China for lying to everybody. Let's see. Then the Washington Post put out this gem. Fatherhood is more visible than ever, but will dads working from home actually step up more? And I said, step up beyond working every day to support their families? Golly, right. One can only hope.
That part always kills me, where it's just like, oh, well, he works every single day, countless hours to literally make everything in this house that I use every day work, but he should be doing more. I'm like, bitch, get a job. Like, shut the fuck up. Get a job. What do you mean?
Yeah, they're working from home because they would otherwise be working out there every day. But golly, what have you done for me lately? Then there was not as bad as that first story I talked about from the guy in New York, but kind of along a similar thread. Okay, the NPR put this out. The U.S. still has a serious shortage of coronavirus testing. One woman says her husband has symptoms. Their son has leukemia, but their doctor says all they can do for now is isolate. Quote, we had no choice but to expose our kids and pray for the best, unquote. If you know you have symptoms and your son has leukemia and thus a suppressed immune system, you have a choice. You stay away from your kids.
Yep. Right.
I don't know what you mean you had no choice. If you thought you were sick, especially in this particular instance, I'm sorry. The safest thing to do is stay away from your children until you can either determine yes or no you have a serious illness. Otherwise, you are what are you thinking?
If you thought you had the flu, wouldn't you stay away from your kids? If you thought you had some other communicable disease, wouldn't you stay away from your kids? You're a dumbass if you think that's the only reason to stay away from your kids. It's not the only disease you need to stay away from your kids from if they are fragile.
Yeah, if they have leukemia, for God's sake. And I said, then dad needs to stay away from the kid, assume he's got it, and act accordingly. That's really the only safe option. But we had no choice. Like, no, we had no choice but to expose our kids and pray for the best. Really? Really? Okay. Thank you, Cody Fry. Fathers working from home, women most affected? Yeah, apparently so. They couldn't just work from home and do nothing else and everything would be exactly as it was before. No, they need to step up, guys. They need to step up. And lastly, this one from Jameel Hill.
Oh, God.
So for reference, Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
He used the team, or was it his own personal or the team's private jet? I forget.
Team plane.
Team plane to transport masks and other medical equipment from, I think it was China?
China. Yep.
China to here, or sorry, to Boston in order to help out the medical professionals and everything in Boston and to supplement their supply of masks and other items. Jameel Hill says this is where I remind people that Robert Kraft is friends with Donald Trump and gave to his campaign. It's incredible the Kraft family is doing this, but hope they understand their money helped empower their quote-unquote friend. And I said, no good deed goes unvilified.
What? For real?
Yes. That's what you said.
That's as bad as the MyPillow shit.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to just sit over here and bite my tongue a bit.
Like, well, bitch, if you or anybody you know or care about needs one, be sure to tell them that they wouldn't want to get one of these masks that helped empower Trump. So, good luck.
But that's all the fucketry I had. So, Satsu, what do you got?
That story you just told me.
Yeah, well, sorry if I stole your thunder.
Well, no, I didn't. It became my fucketry just now because I want to punch her in the fucking eye. But let's see here. Oh, so this ain't really fucketry, but Pat shared a picture of this girl that the original poster put and said, I really don't understand how men can date a woman that looks like this. And this chick, she looks Asian or whatever. Either I can't really tell because you only can see her from the side, and when she's looking down, she almost looks kind of. Well, anyway, she's jacked. This chick is jacked. Like her body is, it's amazing. And I'm just like, I can't do it. Like, I'm sorry. And he's like, I can do, athletic. And I'm like, oh, I can do athletic, but this bitch is jacked. Like that's a totally different thing. I can't cuddle with her. I'm sorry. I couldn't do it.
Real quick, thank you, Cryptic. The masks went to New York City, not Boston. I thought I read they went to Boston. If I was mistaken, I apologize.
But I was just like, hold on. I mean, I don't know. There's various reasons why I just couldn't do it. Like, you saw the picture, Scribe?
Yes, I mean, they're Polydub just to mention them about a couple minutes ago.
Could you do it?
Cuddle with her?
Just be with her, like.
Sure. I mean, she's not in the pictures I see. She's not like so ripped that she doesn't have curves. That's always the thing that turns me off personally about really, really like bodybuilder women is that they lose all excess fat and they lose those aspects that make them look feminine. She looks feminine, so it doesn't bother me.
She still does, man. But I don't know, man. I done been with too many squishies. What?
I can't see the picture.
Okay, well, I will. I will retweet it for. Well, you can't see that
No,
anyway.
even
I'm
retweeted it. When I click on the link, it tells me that her stuff is protected.
Oh, you just got to
That's
go to
weird.
Pat's channel because it says that for me too, but only when I click on the link. If you go back to Pat's page, you should be able to see it, the reshare or the retweet.
No, on mine it just comes up with the link. And it says this tweet is unavailable.
Wow. No, I can still see it. No, that's weird.
I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, she looked good. Like I am attracted to her. Like that is a thing, but I can't do it.
All right. Well, to each their own.
Okay, let me see what else. There was I think there was something else. I hadn't been I've been prepping to play Resident Evil pretty much all day. You guys might be interested in this. The media downplaying the coronavirus. No, that's not. I can't find it. I got on earlier and it was like just a little thing that I saw. I guess I can't find it, so I got nothing.
Okay. Monkey, what you got?
Oh, let's see. So I've noticed that they're pushing real hard to make it so that Trump's press conferences, not only should people not be watching them, but they're the most horrible thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
And the Palmer Report, which is a dickish site anyway, run by a dicky man, he tweeted about it. But in the comments, somebody wrote this: "We should not have to see this dumpster fire on a daily basis." I think we have a problem in the U.S. I think we're running real low on AA and AAA batteries, and people's remotes aren't working.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to watch anything you damn well don't want to watch. Literally, you can change the channel, you can turn it off. There's all kinds of ways to get around it. You can go outside for a walk, not even be near the TV. Change the fucking channel. Anyway. This is actually from yesterday, but I just saw it today. This was written by a German who says, "Dear Americans, I hate to break the bad news to you, but we hate your racist, narcissistic, laughing stock of a president. Best regards, the rest of the world." Hey, German, nobody gives a fuck what you think. You might hate my president, but you'll take his money, won't you, shithead?
Well, I was tempted to say something to the effect of, well, have fun enjoying Angela Merkel.
Well, my actual response was, "Dear German, nobody really cares about your opinion. I'm not replying with a mean reply. It's just reality. All the best, an American. P.S. As an American, I don't need to hide my opinion behind the world. One of the great things about being us."
Ooh.
I just love the world hates you. Go fuck yourself. I give no shits if the world hates me. How about that? I don't have to care whether or not you like me.
Oh my God. Monkey, my favorite comment in that feed was, "Dear world, we know, and we're sorry. We hate him too. He's murdering us. Please send help." He's murdering us. And I responded, "Considering the fact that you can still tweet just fine while murdered, I think you'll be okay."
Yeah.
Ain't that the truth? Holy shit.
That was a zombie tweet.
Right, fucking he's murdering us.
There was a story from the Washington Post today. It said, "How did COVID-19 begin? Its initial origin story is shaky." Now, the truth is we don't really know.
Yep.
That's just fact. We don't know. We have some ideas. But there's one line in this fucking story that just pissed me off. It said, "President Trump and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo added to the bio last month by describing the coronavirus as the Chinese virus and the Wuhan virus, respectively."
Pardon?
See?
Can you read that one more time?
Sure. President Trump and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo added to the bio last month by describing the coronavirus as the Chinese virus and the Wuhan virus, respectively.
So the world is literally pretending no human being ever said that until they did. That is fascinating.
Well, my comment was that don't make Satsu get the clips.
Oh my fucking! Oh my god! I need to just keep this clip on me at all times.
Yeah.
Like what?
I
the
just
fuck?
love that was thrown in here.
It was on international news.
Real quick, thank you, Cody Fry. They hate us because they wish they could be us.
Fuck me.
Yeah. What else? I know there was one more I wanted to get to. I don't really want to highlight me being a dick. Yeah, you know what? That'll be enough. I'm good.
Okay, P-Dog, what do you got?
Well, this is one of the rare days on my show where I didn't spend my day going through Twitter, Twitter and coronavirus talk. I avoided it because I was doing Florida Man stories. However, there is a rash of people on the internets, and most of them are Trump detractors. I'll call them Trump detractors. And we'll call it TDS, Trump detractor syndrome, who seem to think that crystal balls are real and that time is not continuous in linear fashion, and seem to think that somehow 4 months ago or months ago, several months ago, everyone should have seen this coming. And so they tweet things like, you knew 3 months ago that this was coming. You knew at the beginning of January that this was coming. And so my standard response is, if you say that, you don't know the timeline of this whole thing, because today is April 3rd. 3 months ago today is actually January 3rd. And now, because January, let's see, to February is 1 month, February to March is 1 month, March to April is 1 month. On January 3rd, we knew about the coronavirus for exactly 3 days. The Chinese finally reported it to the World Health Organization. And in January, nobody even knew that this was transmitted from human to human. Now, why I bring that up during the Twitter trends time, because, well, let me just give you an example. I'm going to give you a quote from Jim Acosta, everybody's favorite douchebag. Despite White House claims that Trump and administration did everything right in response to coronavirus, listen to this carefully. Source close to task force said tougher social distancing measures implemented earlier in pandemic could have blunted the severity of the crisis. It might have made a difference, source tells us. What's wrong with that sentence?
Wait, they said source close to the task force told them that?
A source close to the task force. And then there's another part, though, that's the problem with that. Quote, it might have made a difference, the source tells us. Is that definitive?
No.
Is that really what you're reporting, you douchebag? Did they also mention that welding people into their residence sort of worked too?
Real quick, Willett Ford. Hold on, real quick. Willett Ford says, "China lied. Isn't that how Scribe's dog died?"
Yes.
And Cryptic, thank you. You had a guy named Adolf. Fuck the germs.
But everyone's talking like, well, you should have known. Nancy Pelosi says, well, you knew in January. What were you doing in January? Because in February, Nancy, you were in Chinatown saying that people should still be going out and having a good time, and and all these. It's just all these people seem to don't understand what 3 months means. 3 months ago, it was still January 3rd. Not December 3rd. And some people are saying we should have been preparing for this in December. Now imagine if in December, when the World Health, or excuse me, in January, in the New York Times on January 23rd, they reported that the World Health Organization said that there's no evidence of this being human to human transmission. Imagine if the president of the United States, who they already like to call a dictator, had said, you know what, there's no evidence of human to human transmission. But we're going to lock down the entire country today because my crystal ball says this is going to be a lot worse 2 months from now, and they're finally going to call this a pandemic on March 11th. Oh,
dude. Headline prediction: Trump uses his dictatorship powers to take over the U.S. despite the fact that it can't be transmitted person to person.
right. But now, all of a sudden, Trump, that they've been calling an authoritarian and a dictator, now they want him to have been a dictator 3 months ago.
Well, their timeline is all bullshit to begin with. They keep moving the goalposts as we go.
Mm-hmm.
Every new thing. Oh, well, he should have done that. He should have. Yeah, it's a bunch of bullshit, man. Look at the testing. They've come out and found out that, like, in Spain, I think it's in Spain, their tests have a 70% failure rate, or did up until, like, I think it was the 23rd of March. Do you guys remember all of we have to get testing? The US fucked up by not taking the testing that everyone else is using. That's got 70% failure rate, but suddenly tests don't matter much anymore. Right. It's just, look how big the numbers are getting.
Well, yeah, because we've tested 4 times as many people as anyone else.
Yep.
I bet you test that many people in any country, you're going to find that many cases, because most of them are asymptomatic.
I don't know about most, but a lot of them.
Well, I'm going to guess that a large part, or not asymptomatic, but just mild symptoms. Some people only get, look at Chris Cuomo. Chris Cuomo says he has COVID-19. Mm-hmm. He hasn't missed a day on the air yet. And, the other day he was on the day after he supposedly spent the night with having chills and having all these symptoms, and it was terrible and awful. And I watched a 6-7 minute segment that he did. Not only did he didn't cough one time. Okay. You supposedly had this terribly rough night, and he doesn't cough one time while he's broadcasting from his basement.
Maybe Fredo's too dumb to know how to cough.
I think he's just trying to get a Pulitzer.
Real quick. Thank you, Cryptic. 80% failure rate. Those kits came from China.
Yep.
China.
Well, the story I saw said 30% accuracy. So that would be 70% inaccurate.
Yeah. So anyway, sorry, I didn't have my Corona fix today, so there's my rant for the day.
All right. Well, guys, we're going to move on to question time. It's your time. So if you have questions, comments, concerns, complaints, conspiracy theories, if you would like some kind of strange advice about your sex life, ask somebody else, because we definitely don't have any good advice on that. But either way, put them in the chat now. If you have questions for us, please put plenty of chat marks after those. If you have statements for us to consider, please put plenty of statement marks after those. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, ask your helpful neighborly chat person, and they will explain. Thank you, Sanguine. We have a test that can give positive results in as little as 5 minutes that is FDA cleared as of last week. We have a 2-minute test in the pipeline, too. Yeah, I'd like to get one of those. I'd like to get a test that says, do I already have antibodies in my system? Have I already fought this thing off in some fashion? Was I asymptomatic and I've already started working through it? That would probably tell a lot of people whether or not they're at risk themselves, and they can gauge whether or not they need to lock themselves down as much. Johnny Hellcat, thank you. 80% failure. Their moms must be disappointed.
Yeah. Makes me laugh harder than it should.
That's funny.
And Stargazer Nuts puts P-Dog Knight's Streamlabs up on the screen as well. Thank you, Stargazer. Motto Winter, oh lords, what are your thoughts on people who poop with the door open?
They're bad, and they should feel bad about themselves.
Okay. Frank Hubbard, Scribe, why did you let your dog Gray do close to that nuclear warhead? Gray do close?
Yeah.
Probably too close. I'm guessing.
because I needed to launch it at the Brotherhood of Steel. That's why. Angry Illinois, what do you think is the best Doom game? I vote 2. I assume you're meaning Doom 2 Hell on Earth, the old game. Yeah, I think that was the first Doom game I ever played, and I still have fond memories of it. So I haven't played any of the new Doom games. I never played Doom 3 because it was scary looking. I don't like, Dead Space and games that have like shadows and jump scares and things. I don't like those kind of games. I like watching people play those games. I don't like playing them myself. So I'll say Doom 2.
I've never been a Doom player. I mentioned before, I like killing humans or human-like zombies. I enjoy killing because they're human or used to be. Mm-hmm. Killing aliens and stuff, it just bores the crap out of me after a while. Mm-hmm. So none.
I'm going to say one that I haven't played yet.
One that you haven't played yet?
Yeah, because I haven't played any of them yet.
Oh, I haven't played it. Okay. Yeah, I like Wolfenstein. I like the Doom 2 because I owned that before I owned Doom 1, and I found Doom 2. Well, once you play Doom 2, it's kind of hard to take a step backwards necessarily if you're used to that stuff. And of course, way back when I bought back when you could do this before the internet, I still have it here somewhere. I bought a CD-ROM full of custom Doom maps. Just on there, and it said these maps are for Doom, and they sold those things that people had probably made off the internet and never got paid for, but they sold a disc full of them. So it had like the Beavis and Butthead map, the Barney map, you could run around and kill Barney and all that kind of stuff. That was fun. Let's see. Sanguine, thank you. The 2-minute is an antibody test. The 5-minute is a next-gen PCR sequencing test from the sound of it. Send one or both of those to every home you have a Social Security check coming to or something, or address on from the government, because that would help out a bit, I think. Will It Forge, Scribe, would you please remind everyone that Will It Forge plans another stream tomorrow? Art and probably Minecraft starting around 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern. Well, there you go. Tack Alpaca, are you a fan of stuffed shells? My mom used to make some stuffed shells from time to time. I liked them all right.
Yeah, we eat them quite frequently. They're really good.
Believe it or not, Sam's Club, the local Sam's Club here, has stuffed shells that you can buy and just heat up, and they're fantastic.
I've never tried any that are like frozen. We always make ours, but yeah, I wish there were some around that were frozen and easy to do, because they're messed to make. God damn it!
Satsu, are you going to do a stream where you make some stuffed shells?
I haven't made it, so I try it.
All right. Chicago Mike, what games do you guys recommend I get for my PS4? Pong. I don't know. I don't have a PS4. Anybody here have a PS4? Have any recommendations?
What kind of games do you like?
Warframe. It's free and it's fun as hell.
Let's see. My favorites that I've played. That Spider-Man game is awesome still. It really is. And Red Dead, of course, if you haven't played it.
Yeah. Spider-Man, Red Dead, God of War, Last of Us, if you haven't played it yet. The Uncharted collection is a good one. There's 3 games for the price of 1. There's a lot of games you can play.
Yeah, go to your local GameStop when they're allowed to open again, and go into the cheap bin.
An American Celt Scribe, Doom Eternal has Doom 1 and 2 built in. Well, I would hope so. Those things probably cost about 5 cents now. Or maybe more. I don't know what Steam's got them for. Let's see. Thank you, Sanguine. They are point-of-care units, so they will be in hospitals, doc boxes, doctor's office, and the like. Oh, okay. Well, I'm not going to risk getting infected by going to a doctor's office to find out if I've been infected. That's the problem. But I'm glad they're out there. Delfruit Zero, Scribe, the angry Chinese Twitter people that have been continually yelling at me said that we had 2 months to prepare. Where the hell was this mystical magic time period of preparation?
That's what I've been saying all week and all the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, Rachel.
Even if you had 2 months, so 2 months is 60 days. 2 months to prepare for what? What do you ramp up that happens in 60 days anywhere in the world? How many 2 months to prepare for a something that's not called a pandemic yet. 2 months to prepare for something that has no evidence of human transmission. 2 months to prepare for what? How long does it take to make a what are those things called? Those ventilators? How long do those take? 2 months, my ass. Shut the fuck up and get off my Twitter's feed. By the way,
hold on. Rachel Maddow said something very similar to the complaining that the military was months behind schedule on doing preparations. And I'm like, and at the time she said that, I was like, we had our first case in America almost just exactly 2 months ago. How many months behind schedule are we for something that only just became a problem?
They discovered it January 20th, the first case. That person traveled from Wuhan, China on the 16th. And between the time that the people in Wuhan started dying from this and between November 17th, the first case, and the time that we actually found out about it, 14,000 people a day traveled to and from the United States from China. 14,000 a day traveled to and from China in that time period. So there's a good chance a few of those people had it, and that's why it's in all 50 states and all in 203 countries around the world. Everyone could shut the fuck up about how much time we had to prepare for it. Real quick, I have a donation on my Streamlabs from Cricket. Thank you for the $5. Why does the coronavirus mess with the priest? The virus is 19, too old for priest. Happy birthday. Thank you, Cryptic.
Oh my God. Let's see. My chat jumped. Let me go back up a little bit. Sorry, guys, if I missed your question, just repeat them. Let's see. Sean Uli, can you describe your process for making a scripted video? Write a script and record it into a microphone. No,
He's not kidding. It's not anymore.
Yeah, it's I mean, first you have to, so here's what I do. I mean, well, if I'm not sort of haphazarding it by doing it partially at work in the olden days when I actually went to work, what I do is I take the video I'm planning on looking at, I put it into my editing software, and then I start watching it in the editor. And as I come to a point, and then I have a text file open, and as I come to a point in the video where I would make a comment, I clip a break in the video, and then I go to my text file and I write a little timestamp thing that says that, at 3 seconds or whatever. And underneath that, I write my comment, whatever I'm scripting. And then I go on to then I watch the video again to the next point and so on. And I just sort of timestamp with the text document as I'm chopping the video breaks as I'm watching the video. That way I already have the video partially edited while I'm live scripting it for my first walkthrough. Then I'll save everything. I'll usually sleep on it a day, because usually I'll think of something that after watching the video that I want to add to it or whatever. And then I'll revise my script. And then if I need to find inserts like news article clips or funny gags or something I want to put in there, then I do that stuff too. And I also make notes in my script as to where I need to put a chink says right or traumatic squirrel or something. And then it's just a matter of recording the audio and then assembling the audio and the visual bits and rendering, and I'm done. That's my high level broad process. Pirate Screed Scribe, will you please tell Monkey that anime does not equal cartoons?
You don't have to like it. It's still cartoons.
That's a fact.
Keeverdam, have you heard of Crimson Contagion? Is that a band name or is that a disease? Because I don't know either one.
Sounds like a video game.
Could be that too.
I've never heard of it, but that's what it sounds like.
See, Jim
Scribe?
Hewitt. Yes.
Oh, can I go back to one that you missed? Because this one's a good one. Harvos Marvos asks, thoughts on China giving UN Human Rights Council panel, or joining the Human Rights Council panel, where it will help select next world monitors on freedom of speech, enforced disappearances, arbitrary detention, and on health.
Yeah, that'd be a bad choice.
We've had Iran on there. Why not?
Well, there's that too, yeah. And Russia is probably on there too, huh?
Right.
Jim Healis saw an argument comparing stay-at-home orders to blackout orders in World War II, saying that people were patriotic back then and complaining about freedoms now. Do you think this is a fair comparison? In the sense that, well, I mean, is it a fair comparison as in it's a similar sort of national effort kind of thing? People were patriotic back then and complaining about freedoms now. I think now, I mean, maybe this is just a gilded view of the historical footage and documentaries I've seen, but there did seem to be, and I always think of Britain first because there was this sort of, undeniable sort of stiff upper lip. We are doing this and must carry on, etc., and we're all in this together kind of thing. That was admirable because there was a lot of death and the Blitz and people were dying, but it was like, we have to do this in order to survive and we'll get through this together. There was a sense of unity, it seemed like. And of course, back in the World War II, we had rationing here where people would recycle their rubber or, send their extra grease off to the military and stuff like that. There seemed to be a more unified front at confronting a common opponent. And that I think that spirit could have been inspired in us today if our leaders took that tact, but they haven't really yet, or at least not in the same way nationally as maybe locally. I know individual states have a bit of or different governors are playing things differently. So I think an opportunity has been missed to sort of make that case to the country. And maybe that's why people are complaining more because it doesn't feel as serious as maybe it should. Thank you, Gunsky, for the donation. No comment, but crazy face. What do you guys think about that comparison?
Well, the difference between the blackout orders, I think, is the reason you have the blackout orders is because they didn't have the technology to bomb you from the sky and be sure they were over their target at night. And so they were trying not to be bombed from the sky. The difference between that and perhaps the stay-at-home orders, or people are taking a different approach. Some people say, you can do social distancing without having a stay-at-home order. And so maybe that's perhaps people questioning their government is more prominent in this type of situation.
I mean, they're fair enough comparisons, but I don't know enough about the blackout orders, like what the punishments were for them. But I think if you tell Americans, to stay home, don't make it an actual legal issue, then most of them are going to stay home. Most of them don't want to go out there and kill people, mostly themselves. So there's this idea that if you tell them to stay home, nobody's going to do it. Yes, there's a lot of jackasses who are still going out there and getting way too close to each other during this. It's not everybody. Most people, there's have you seen the pictures of just empty streets?
Yes.
Most people are still like, all right, you know what? I'm just gonna go sit in my house for a while. So I think people are getting a bad rap right now on all of this, to be honest with you. But as far as legality stuff is concerned, I don't know enough about the blackout orders to know.
Satsu?
What was the comparison again?
Comparing stay-at-home with the blackout orders during World War II, where basically you had to have either all your lights off or big thick curtains on your windows to prevent any light coming out that would signal to the Germans where populated areas are that they could bomb.
Is there? I'm confused. I wasn't really paying attention because I was talking shit on Twitter. So I'm like, wait, why are those two comparable?
Well, so back then it was considered patriotism to do so, whereas people are saying the lockdown now is a violation of freedoms.
But they're okay, and that part fucks with me too because they're begging for it. Like people are begging to be locked down. They're literally saying that Trump is a horrible individual because he's not locking everything down. So I don't get that narrative. It just confuses me. I'm sorry.
Is that Satsu roboting or is that me?
You sounded fine to me.
Oh,
Slightly.
Great. Okay. Well, let me know if I start breaking up because maybe that's on Thurs or something. Adonis Bartolote or Bartol. Yeah, I don't ever know if I say that correctly. Either way, Scribe Light, will you get P Dog Knight as your lawyer dog to sue whoever killed your dog? That might be a conflict of interest. I mean, a dog trying to defend another dog. I don't know.
There is one other minor problem.
You're not a lawyer?
I only play one on the internet.
Okay. Attack Alpaca. Does June 1st seem too ambitious for businesses to open again and us to start safely going out regularly, etc.? I don't know.
I don't think so. Yeah, look, so what they're saying is that the time they're thinking whatever they call it, the incubation time, whatever
Incubation
is
period.
15 to 21 days.
Mhm.
June 1st is much more than that.
Well, if everybody away from each other thing and lockdown and everything else, it all depends on if people actually change their habits.
And also if some of these possible treatments work, if they get more testing, if the quick test, the 5-minute test, or if they do develop a shorter test and you test more people, those are all factors too.
Yeah. I mean, any prediction on when it'll be quote unquote safe to start going back to normal? Everybody has to do their part as much as possible to stop the spread and allow it to, on surfaces and everything else, die off. Let people have it run its course through their systems if they've got it in lockdown. Not go to the maternity ward just so you can see your wife and stuff like that. I mean, fingers crossed that this ends sooner rather than later, but it really is all dependent on people just unfortunately having to buckle down and change their habits for a month or so. Let's see.
I have one more Streamlabs. sorry to interrupt. Thank you, Cryptic. Why were Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy very wise presidents? They both had an open mind.
Oh. Definitely true at the end.
Let's see. What? Sean DW. So Distractsu was following Monkey's example and ignoring Scribe and playing on Twitter.
Wait, what happened?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Satsu. You just proved Sean's point, I think.
Oh, I just went to the bathroom real quick.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Well, same difference. Let's see. Chat jumped again. Modern Winter. Oh, Lords, would you try a fried, as in breaded, grilled cheese sandwich with a golden goblet of 1982 champagne?
I don't want to. This may come as a shock, but grilled cheese sandwiches tend to come breaded.
What
does
you mean like
sandwich part?
Unless you mean, have you ever had like what are those called? Monte Cristos? Monte Cristo style grilled cheese sandwich.
Yeah.
You bread
with the powdered sugar and all that stuff.
No.
Yeah.
You don't. I never do the powdered sugar. I'd ask him when I was a kid. I'd say please no powdered sugar. But the Monte Cristo is that was the damn thing right there. But I'm not understanding the golden goblet of 1982 champagne with that.
Well, Mata just has to throw in something even especially weirder into the mix just to see what we'd say.
Okay.
I tried to make a Monte Cristo once. I don't know if it turned out right. It tasted good, but I'm not sure if that's what it was supposed to be or not. I was just like, all right, that was pretty good.
You lost me at the champagne, but I'm not a big champagne fan.
Yeah.
Pirates Creed. Did you guys see Dave Cullen's most recent video on the coronavirus?
Nope.
No.
The one that came out today, I have not watched it yet.
Satsu?
No.
No. Delfruit Zero, has Satsu heard of the hate towards Deku from My Hero Academia? Has he heard of Nux Taku, or Taku? And he had a video on Deku being is the worst shonen protagonist ever.
No, I didn't hear about that, but that's pretty stupid.
James Von Maxwell, Scribe has some hot quality vids lately. Excellent, sir. Well, thank you, James. I try. I'll probably be doing one tomorrow as well, sometime between 11 a.m. Pacific and then, what is that, 1 p.m. Eastern time, somewhere in there. Chicago Mike, guys, which cartoon needs to make a comeback and why is it Animaniacs? Only if they're allowed to do the same writing quality as they did in the past, because I have a feeling that Warner Brothers would probably lock them down on certain innuendos and subject matter as compared to the 90s now, which would be unfortunate.
I never got into Animaniacs. Give me my Rescue Rangers.
Or Gargoyles. Bring back Gargoyles.
Bring back the entire Looney Tune collection, and just all you pussies who don't like the politically incorrect things in them, fuck off.
Mr. Scott, favorite superhero growing up? Well, I mean, as a kid, it was Spider-Man and the Incredible Hulk. So, right there. That's when I was little.
Batman and Spider-Man.
Mine was the Thing from Fantastic Four.
It's clobbering time.
I loved the Fantastic Four.
I really liked Wolverine as a kid.
Let's see. Kieverdam says you can't say Animaniacs without anime. Ha 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 ha. Let's see. And Jay Wolf says PC Police would destroy the series. Yeah, I mean, if they tried to bring back Animaniacs, and like I say, you'd have to have the same writers and you'd have to give them the same freedoms. Otherwise, it's just, there's no point to it. Not that I'd say you need a point to it. I just say re-release the old cartoons remastered because they're just fine the way they are. Not sure how you could add on to it. Top Ramen says Superman best superhero. And boring superhero. Sorry.
Superheroes with vulnerabilities are much more entertaining, and Superman's vulnerabilities were very limited to that one thing.
Yeah, I mean the character comes from struggle, and if you don't have to struggle that much, or you have to have some very contrived obstacles created to make you struggle, it kind of works against having an interesting character. TA Scribe Gargoyles was good. I thought I was the only one who remembered that. No, Gargoyles. I mean, I think it was like I started watching when it first came out, and it was like the second or third episode where their human friend got shot, and they had a whole episode about gun safety. I mean, even then I thought, whoa, this is some heavy stuff for a kid's cartoon. And then they got into the whole pantheon of the gods and the goddesses and the elves and all that stuff later on when they went over to Europe and they found their counterparts. There was at least one episode where I think they were trying to see if they could make a spin-off because there was some kid and a golem character, and it looked like they were trying to set up a side story or a side series. And the voice acting was like mostly Star Trek The Next Generation actors most of the time. You could recognize their voices, and like when Puck showed up and it was Brett Spiner, I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. So that was always fun.
Yeah, Gargoyles pretty good.
Yeah, Gargoyles are really good. That's one. It was up there as far as I'm concerned. It was on par with Batman the Animated Series for a cartoon that kids could watch that didn't talk down to the audience. It was a very rare thing. You didn't see it very often, and 90s seemed to be the prime time for it. And those two series in particular, I thought were really good.
I didn't like the animation style, so
You didn't like the animation? Oh,
Yeah, it's, and I've told you before, if I don't like the animation, I can't watch it. So I didn't watch much of it at all.
yeah, it is a bit Disney. You can't avoid it because it's Disney. But the storytelling, the voice acting, the overall kind of helped overcome that. I mean, especially in the early series when it moved over, when it changed formats like 2 or 3 seasons in, then it got a bit more cartoony than a little bit down to earth. But those first couple seasons were really good. Let's see, Johnny Bonsaco. They found Avalon and King Arthur as well. That's right. Yeah, they went into the whole Arthurian legend stuff along with real fey folk who were weakened to cold iron and all that. That stuff was cool. Let's see, Johnny Bonsaco. Gargoyles went to crap when they added it to the Saturday morning lineup. That was the big change when they switched it over to that thing and it got too goofy. But like I say, the first couple seasons were good. Mr. Scott says, used to watch Doctor Who, Red Dwarf and Red Green on PBS Saturday nights. Red Dwarf is great. Their new movie's coming out soon-ish, I guess. They did a new movie. But every time they had the fundraiser on PBS every year and they did the Red Dwarf marathon, I sat there and watched the whole thing over again. It's so good, so funny. Love Red Dwarf. Grisilla, Scribe, since you like goldfish crackers, do you think baby goldfish taste like babies?
What?
Well, first, I only eat the classic goldfish crackers, the cheddar cheese ones. I don't touch any other kind of goldfish crackers. I didn't know that there were. If you're talking about like tiny goldfish, are they called baby goldfish? Because I don't know those. I don't eat those. So I haven't eaten them. And since I haven't eaten them, I couldn't tell you what they taste like. I'm assuming goldfish crackers. So, yeah. Angry Illinoisian, is Satsu in a hurry to end the stream? Well, if he is, he's doing a horrible job at it because we still got 4 minutes to go.
How would you be in a hurry to end the stream that has an end time?
Right. Yeah. And it ain't my night, so I don't have the power to end the stream.
I mean, I could just hit the button right now and end it all of a sudden. Is that what you want, Satsu?
No.
Well, I mean, Angry Illinoisian seems to think you do. Does he know something I don't? You want out of here? Is that it?
Well, if I was actually going back to play Resident Evil instead of 7 Days to Die, then I'd probably be more in a hurry. But we're about to play 7 Days after this.
Oh, okay. Advocatus Diabli, it's cold out here. No, it's cold outside. There's no kind of atmosphere. I'm all alone, more or less. Goldfish are nibbling at my toes. Fun, 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 fun. In the sun, sun, sun. Cannibalistic Wizard, goldfish are the only snack that smiles back until you bite their heads off. Well, yes, that's true. Once you bite their heads off, they ain't smiling no more.
They're still smiling. You just can't see it anymore.
Well, once you chewed it up, the smell goes away real quick.
It's still there. It's there in spirit.
Grisilla, Scribe, since they have cheddar pizza, cupcake flavored goldfish.
Ew.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen those. Yeah.
No. I don't know. I didn't know those existed till just now. If they do, I have no interest in them whatsoever. Yuck.
They kind of taste like knockoff Teddy Grahams.
No. That's against God's plan. No.
Dude, I love Teddy Grahams.
Okay, well, Teddy Grahams are one thing, but cupcake goldfish, no.
I'm not feeling it.
Sorry, what?
All right, you said I'm not feeling it.
Yeah. Alyssa doesn't lie. I'm super multitasking, putting together a cabinet, watching a movie, in a phone call, and listening to the stream.
What movie?
Are you on meth?
She's young.
Well, you can be young and on meth.
Yeah, but young people have more energy, so they don't need the meth.
Oh, okay.
I mean, she could be. I mean, I saw Alex Keaton on Speed once, so.
Well, here's the question, though. Doing all those things at once, are you doing each one of those things with the same amount of quality and attention as you could if you were doing each of them individually?
Well, again, she's young, so probably.
Yeah, okay. Chicago Mike, isn't zombies cultural appropriation towards the dead? Are the dead a culture?
I promise if we ever got zombies, they would be in this day and age.
Yeah, you're probably
But-
right to be classified as a minority. And yeah,
I
Well,
feel
actually,
like they're actually
the dead would be the majority.
There's
in
a
that case they're culturally appropriating the living.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
There's
that's
a-
true too. Yeah.
there's a Jerry Garcia joke in there somewhere.
Oh, a Tetra Gray? Yeah. And lastly, Mono Winter. Oh, Lords, what are your thoughts on the study of the effects of alcohol on large rodents? Well, nothing's worse than a drunk rat.
Teddy Kennedy could have attested to that if you weren't dead.
But And with that dated punchline, we're at the top of the hour, guys, and thus the end of the show. Everyone, thank you so much for coming out tonight, as you always do. You guys really are the best audience in the world. Moderators, thank you for keeping an eye on things, even though our audience is the best behaved in the world. Everyone who donated, thank you so much for your generosity. Cannot tell you enough how humble it makes me that in this particular instance of history and everybody's conditions right now, that you guys are that generous. I really do appreciate it. I am planning on venturing out for the first time in 2 weeks to go to the grocery store, and I will buy horrible things to put in my body, like Jack Daniels and Dr. Pepper and pot stickers and soup and toilet. I'm not going to put toilet paper in my body, but I have to get toilet paper if it exists anymore, and paper towels and other things that I can store for a while, like granola bars and goldfish. Goldfish. Remember, guys, tomorrow night, per usual, will be on Monkey's channel at the regular time. And just after this, over on 2 Cents Plus, you can watch Monkey and Satsu fight zombies in 7 Days to Die. And you may have a chance of winning a copy of the remastered Resident Evil 3, either on Steam or via gift cards for PS4, depending on the circumstances you find yourself in. And also, guys, take a look at the link in the description below for P-Dog Knight's channel. If you haven't already, take a moment, go over there, subscribe. If you get P-Dog to 1,000 subscribers in the near future, he can stream from on the road and increase his reach of entertainment to you all. I think that's all the big stuff. You guys have anything you want to mention before we go?
No, you got it.
You did everything I would have said.
Oh, well. Hey now. Satsu, you got anything?
You did all right. It was acceptable.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. And also, yeah, tomorrow, sometime between, say, 11 and noon Pacific time, I'm going to do a TED Excellence episode. So be on the lookout for that. Watch Twitter, because you're not going to get a notification on YouTube. Same goes for all of us here. Our Twitter handles are in the description. So please do follow us on there. More likely than not, if you want notifications of upcoming shows or new videos posted, you're going to find it there far earlier than you will on YouTube, which is unfortunate, but that's just the reality we're in right now. Same goes for any other content creator you appreciate. Try to find their social media accounts and follow them there. It's more reliable right now than the very platform we're on. So with all that, Satsu, Monkey, thank you for joining me as always.
Yeah, whatever.
P-Dog, thank you for joining us, I should say, and happy early birthday.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. And just a reminder that you guys were kind of the inspiration for me starting to stream on a regular basis. So I appreciate all three of you very much.
Oh,
Well,
I appreciate that.
We do prefer to make people inspired rather than perspire, unless it's like something sexual.
And on that note,
everyone, your lives make us sad, and we will see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
bye-bye.
And per usual, I got my copy of Screw the Roses, Send Me the Thorns, the romance and sexual sorcery of sadomasochism. Turning to you, random page, and today's secret word is degrading.
Ooh, degrading.
Mm-hmm.